Hello, everyone, and welcome to Math 1324 online for fall of 26. My name's Terry Barnes, and I'm going to be helping you with this journey. What I'd like to do in this orientation video is show you what my course looks like, kind of familiarize you with where everything is, and then talk about how I would approach the course and my expectations for what you're going to do. So first of all, let's look up here. And you may not see this quite because I'm looking at it from the instructor side, but the things that you could be interested in up here is if you wanted the book, here's the e-text. It comes with your tuition, so you have an electronic text. Assessments is where you could look at your attendance, which will be updated each week, and your grades, but I would say more times than not, look at your grades in Pearson. They will sync with Brightspace. I have that ready to do, but the for sure grade should be in Pearson. This is where your announcements are, and please check those. There'll be a new announcement at least once a week, probably on Sunday, sometimes on Saturday for the following upcoming week. And it'll just be a reminder of this is what you might look at for this week. So, and then if there's another announcement in the middle of the week, that might be I need to let you know something. So just check in with Brightspace and keep up with those announcements. The content browser is here, and I've put things there that I think you need, things that will help you, and I've kind of streamlined it so you don't have to go up here to the content and look at everything. This is where everything that I think is important will be. The Pearson icon is down here. You can access it by hitting the purple or by doing this pull down arrow and saying open in a new window. That's where you will do all of your homework and your testing. So the Pearson icon is going to be where you do your work. So let's start by looking at the instructor plan and go over a few things in it. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we are going to look at a couple of things. So down here is my instructor information. It has my phone number, my office location if you happen to be on campus and want to drop by. My office hours are listed here, but I also have those another place as well. If we go down here, required text, you don't have to buy a hard copy of the book. I already told you you could look at the e-text if you wanted to use the book. I think I've pulled out everything that I want you to have, so you probably don't have to relate with the book, but if you want to, you have it. You do need a graphing calculator. I teach with the TI-84. And if you have a different kind that does what we need it to do, you're welcome to use that. And then we'll move down a little bit, course attendance and participation. So the school says that you cannot be absent more than 25% of the course. And for our online course, that will be, you have to be shown as to be present no less, you can only miss 4 weeks. That is a fourth. That is 25% of the 16-week course. So we'll talk more about that a little bit further down in the syllabus. But you want to pay attention to that because if you miss 5 weeks, you can be dropped with a W, and you don't want to do that. And it's easy to avoid. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Here's a general calendar. I have a more specific one that is posted as calendar, but this is a generic one inside here showing you the topics that we're going to cover. We'll get down here to grading. In my course, it is divided into homework, test, and final exam. The homework is 30% of your total average, and it can be done over and over again till you get what you want as a grade, which I hope is 100. When you're working on a particular assignment, you got a problem up, you can work it 3 times. If you miss it on that 3rd time, then you'll have an option of just taking that as a wrong answer or getting a similar question and trying it again. So you can keep working till you get 100. On the tests, we have 5 tests, and that counts 50% of the final average. You can take each test twice. The higher of the grade will count in your average. You don't have to take it twice, but if you want to, you may. And this says before each test is available, all the homework has to be completed with at least a 70 for that unit. And so if you don't do that in my online course, the test won't even open for you. So you have to have done your homework and passed each section in order for the test to open. The last thing on there is the final exam. It is cumulative, covers everything. You only get to take that one time, and it counts 20% of your final average. All right. Down here in red is how I do attendance. In this online course, attendance will be based on participation Sunday to Saturday. So the week starts on Sunday, goes to Saturday. You must work each week. That means either get in and do some stuff on a homework or take a test. Every week, you have to do something. If you don't complete any work, you don't go into Brightspace and you don't open anything and work on at least one thing, then you're counted as absent. You're allowed 4 such weeks, but if you receive a 5th absent, you could be dropped. And I will email you on Sundays when I run that report. If you're on it, I will email you and say, you didn't do any work in the previous week, so you have an absence. So you will be notified of that. So I think that pretty much covers the high points of the syllabus. Let's go back to the main screen. So we do have my contact info here. It has my office phone and email address. So if you don't have it somewhere else, you can get it there. My door schedule and office hours. If you're looking to come by, these are the times that I have class from 8 till almost 11 on Tuesday and Thursday. I have 2 courses. And the rest of my classes are online. So here's my office hours, 7 to 8 a.m., both Tuesday and Thursday. And then Tuesday, I am in the office from 12 to 3. So if you want to visit with me during that time, you can. Usually we can get things answered by email, but if you needed a Zoom, we can certainly set that up. So there's my schedule. Let's go to the next part. The next thing is the calendar. Let's look at that. So it looks a little bit like what we saw, but the difference is, so for chapter 2, 3, and 4, and 7, because 3 and 4 is a test together. So these 3 chapter tests, all homework and all of that exams is due by October 4th. So it's not by weeks. I mean, this is a suggestion for you to get it done that way, but you ultimately have to have these 3 tests done and this amount of homework done by October 4th. Then we come down here, and then chapter 8 and 9, chapter 10, and chapter well, that's it. 8 and 9 and 10 are due December 8th, all homework and the tests. The final exam will become available November 22nd, and it is due December 8th as well. So it's like the first half of the course is due by October 4th. The last part is due December 8th. Other than that, in between here, you're good. If you don't get to do these 2 completely in week 8, that's okay. You do have to do something in week 8. But ultimately, due on the dates that we've mentioned there. So that's the calendar. All right, there's some handouts that are worth looking at. This yellow packet is algebra material, and there is some algebra in the course that if you've had algebra, then it'll make that part easier. But some of the formulas and that sort of thing might be helpful. That's just a resource packet for algebra. And then these handouts, there's a chart for 3.3 that would be helpful. There's formulas, there's a chapter 7 probability chart, formulas for 7, formulas for 10, graph grids for chapter 3, linear programming form that can be really helpful. Matrices, this will be at the beginning, so you'll probably want to print that one. Venn diagrams, etc. So everything right there under handouts might be something that you could print and use. All right, what's left is this: problem sets, lectures, and videos. This is like if you were taking this face to face, instead of bringing your book to class and me saying, turn to page 48, you would have a set of problems that we would work through in class, and the lectures would be there, and there's a video of that. So it's like you're getting ready for your homework, and this is how we do it. So let's look at these. If we look at problem sets, let's go to chapter 2. All right, I'm going to click on 2.1. And so these are doing the echelon method, and you may not know what that is, but you will after going through this. So we go through and there's about 7 questions. And so maybe print the blank set of problems. Let's go look at the lecture notes that go with 2.1. So we're back here and we go to lecture notes and go to chapter 2 and we'll do 2.1. Well, that's an alternate. Here it is. There is in the homework, sometimes the number 7 is a theater problem, which isn't in the original problem set. So here is just that alternate number 7 if you need that. But let's look at 2.1. So this is what you would be taking down in class if you were taking notes, and it's the things that I would be talking about. And then you get down to the problem set and it's worked out. So it shows how we get the answers for those. And we just go all the way through. And I think if you notice, number 7 here is about a stock thing. You may get that one in homework, but you might get the theater problem. So you would have both in your lecture notes to help you. So there's that. Now you can read that and understand it and not need the video, but I'm going to show you the videos because I have one for every section. So when we come back here, this video lecture playlist will take you to my YouTube channel for 1324, and we'll go to chapter 2 videos, and we've got it here. And I think that somehow the video got messed up at some point because this is part of it. This is like a 6-minute part, and then it finishes here with an 11-minute part. So those two would be section 2.1. And then you go through and you have the rest. And like 2.4 through 2.6 is heavy in the calculator. And you'll see that in the video, I have an emulator and I work through things on the calculator for those problems. So that's how you get the videos. All right, so let's assume that you have gone in and you looked at the problem set for 2.1 and you've read through the lecture notes and you've watched the video and you said, okay, I got that. So now you're ready to do homework. And this, again, is where we do our work. We're going to hit the purple button, or you could do this pull down. It just doesn't matter. So I'm going to hit here, and we're going to go into the Pearson app. Now, you won't see this part. This is instructor tools. But what I think you should do is click on the gold bar And it should bring us into where you have your homework and gradebook. So let's see, assignments. Those won't show up in your deal. So here's assignments. And you can see all of this part is due October 4th. Remember, through chapter 7 is due October 4th. And then the remaining part of the course is due December 8th. Now, the final exam is not showing on here because it doesn't become available until late in November. But everything else is available now. You could work ahead if you needed to, but ultimate due dates, October 4th for this first part and December 8th for the second part. But let's look in, let's go here, and there's 7 questions. Remember, we looked at 7 questions. We'll hit start, and I am going to move this over in the screen. Okay, so this should look kind of like the problem set that we had. And say we decide there's 3 options here. One specific solution, infinite solutions, or no solution. So if we decided it was A, and it says type an ordered pair. Well, until we click in here, we don't have these icons down here, but you noticed when I clicked in there, I got those. And since I need an ordered pair, here's a little icon. I can just click that. Now I don't have to have the parentheses and the comma. I just have to put some numbers here. So I'm going to just put some numbers. I have no idea what this answer is, but we're going to try, and it says check answer. So we're going to do that. It reminds you a few things if you don't get it right. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to check again, still get my thing. And now it says final check. When I do that, it shows me the correct answer and what I answered. At this point, you can go ahead and go to the next question and leave it as an incorrect. Come back to it later and redo it, or you can do a similar question. So if I hit similar question, it just regenerated the equations. So you could go ahead and do it then. The other thing I want you to note, if you've been working on a problem and it's really, you're struggling, you're just not sure, you can't get something right, you can go to get more help, get down here, and ask my instructor. It's going to send me an email. You don't have to go to your email or anything. You just do this and it's going to send it. It's going to send me your specific question with your equations, but you can type in here, this is what I've tried. I don't understand this part. Just give me some information, and then that's the best way that I can help you get what you need. So if you get really stuck, then the Ask My Instructor is the best way for me to help you. All right, so I think we're good there. Let's close out of this. Right, the other thing that's in here is your grade book. So if we pull that up, I just want you to see. So it will always have your average right here. So I went in and I got a 0. I worked 1 minute. This is when I worked. So I'll see all of this on your screen. You know, what's in your grade book, I'm going to see when you do it. There are 28 homework items, 5 tests, and 1 final, which is under the quiz. So a total of 34 assignments for the semester. So 5 tests, 1 final exam, 28 homeworks. And that's your average. It'll always be current. And you don't have to write me and say, what do I have in the course? This is right here. You can see it. Okay. All right, I think we can go back to the front screen. All right, so do read that important first step. If you've never used Pearson before, you may have to register, but there's no cost. If it tries to charge you, you don't do that. But if you do this registration, or if you've already been in, it'll just put you in the grade book, and that'll be great. And remember this important deadline. I will be saying it in email again. According to state, and college policy, you must log in and submit work by Tuesday, September 8th. If you don't do that, you are automatically dropped from the course. That is a state regulation for our system. So make sure it's real easy. Just go in, work on something, and then you've met that deadline. So I think that's it. I look forward to working with you, and let me know if you need any help.